Hello everyone! Today I'll be making a video about how much it costs to study in Ireland, and I really did not want to film this video today because I look so bad. I had a rough week and a rough day at school, but this is the reality of it, and I thought that I'd better address this before the school term starts so that everyone who wants to come to Ireland to study can make an informed decision about whether you actually want to come or not based on the costs involved. Before I start this video, I just want to say that I know I'm very lucky to be studying in Ireland. I'm very lucky that my parents are paying all my school fees and all my expenses for me. I know that some people are not as lucky, and some of my friends and classmates take out study loans in order to pay for their education here. Usually it's not so common to take out study loans if you're from Singapore or Malaysia, but Canadians usually take out study loans. I think it's because they usually complete their undergraduate degree in Canada, so they'll take out a study loan to study dentistry here. And all the figures that I'll be talking about in this video is solely based off my own experience, so it definitely differs from person to person. I would say that I don't spend a lot, but I definitely do spend more than my friends around me. So I'll just walk you guys through and I'll tell you guys what other people spend in relation to me, like my friends, my flatmates, and my classmates. Yeah, let's go. First, the largest and biggest obstacle, the school fees. So my school fees in year 1 were 39,000 euro. There was an administrative charge of around 200 euro. So let's just say it was 39,200 euro. And that had to be paid in full before I reached Ireland. So I paid my 39,200 euro when I was still in Singapore before I flew over to Ireland. And the school fees go up by around 2% each year. So for year 2, we paid close to 41,000. I paid in 3 installments because we were allowed to. Because of COVID, they changed from the usual 2 installments to 3 installments. So I paid half of the school fees in December, and then I paid another portion in January and the last portion in February. The second biggest expenditure is on rent. The rent in Dublin is pretty expensive. There is a constant housing shortage here, and student accommodations are also very expensive. So rent here is approximated to be around 1,000 a month per person. I pay around 940 a month. We'll just round it up to 1,000. My monthly expenses, so that includes the money I spend on groceries, transport, shopping, food, eating out, and just everything that I need or want to buy, is around 300 to 400 a month. On good months where I stay at home most of the time, it can go down to 230, but that has only happened to me once. I usually spend around 350 a month. But my friends around me, they spend really little. Like my flatmates, one of them has a budget for 250 a month, and so does one of my Singaporean dentistry classmates. But I personally stopped budgeting myself because I realized that it was making me unhappy, and I know I sound like a spoiled brat, but I mentioned this in one of my previous videos too. I realized that if buying something could make me happy, then I would pay a price to be happy, because honestly, like, studying here is just so tough sometimes because you're far away from your family and your friends, and you feel really sad and depressed that you just need to cheer yourself up. So I don't budget myself, I buy whatever I want, and my expenditure is around 350 a month. I'm gonna break down my monthly expenses so you guys can know what I spend on, and I'm majorly exposing myself here, but there are no secrets in this video. So I use an app called Spendy to track my expenditure, and I am obsessed with tracking my expenditure. I key in every single thing that I buy, so rest assured this is definitely 100% accurate. I spent 380 euros last month in May. So the top is shopping, and it's because I online shopped and I also went to a shopping outlet in Kildare. So this expenditure is 100% justified. Don't come for me. Food and drink, I ate out a lot last month. I spent 92 euro on that. Wow, that's a stretch. I drank a lot of bubble tea last month because I was very stressed, so I think that explains it. And then gifts, 61 euro. I have a lot of friends whose birthdays are in May, so that's where the 61 euro went. And then for beauty, I spent 41 euro, and that was just me buying my skincare products. And then groceries, I spent 41. That's actually less than usual because I usually spend 25 a week, so very well done. I think because I ate out so much, so I didn't have to buy as much groceries. And then for laundry, it's 610 per time we do laundry here. So I did it 4 times and then it's 24.40. And then transport is €20. And that's just me topping up my Leap card, which is just a transport card that you use on the tram, the buses, and the train. So honestly, I would say that €380 is a totally acceptable expenditure to me. I don't think I would be worried by my expenditure. But then if you want a more normal kind of expenditure on the months that I don't eat out and I don't shop as much, I kind of went crazy last month because everything reopened up. Then let's look at one of the months where we were in lockdown. So now we're looking at the April expenditure. I spent €255 in April. That is a major achievement for me because normally I don't spend below €300, and I'm also not sure why I spent so little in April when it was my Easter break, but let's look at it now. So groceries, I spent €100. That is correct because €25 a week, so 25 times 4 is 100. And then food and drink, I ate out 13 times. Okay, I spent €100. Actually, why am I eating out so much? Am I alright? €100 is like 20 bubble teas. That sounds about right. And I did laundry 4 times. Bills and fees, usually I just pay for like my phone bill. I'm not sure why I spent €21 that month. And then transport is €10 because I had my Easter break, so I didn't have to go to school. Beauty, I probably bought a skincare product or something. And then shopping, $150. Yeah, wow, so proud of my expenditure that month. I guess if you just buy groceries alone and you don't do anything else, it would just cost you $100 a month. But yeah, as you can see, like my expenditure varies a lot from 255 to 380. It really depends on what kind of spender you are and whether you limit yourself or not, and whether you follow the limit that you set for yourself. I know that people who set budgets for themselves don't always follow them, but there are also people who follow their budgets very strictly. So if you're determined to decrease your monthly expenditure, I'm sure you can do it. Just set aside at least €200 for your essential shopping, like groceries, paying your bills, and transport. If you walk to school, you don't even have to pay for transport. Now I'll be talking about the once-off costs that I had and have to pay when I'm studying here. So the first is the visa cost. So you have to register in the immigration and they give you a student card, and that is €300, and you have to pay that every year. There are no bank fees if you open a student account. So for AIB and BOI, they both don't charge you fees. And then when you first come to Ireland, of course you need to buy things that you need in your house. So like pots and pans, bed sheets, laundry capsules. Let's just set aside around €500 for everything they need to buy. I think I only spent €150, but you may or may not end up buying more expensive items, especially if you do not live in a student accommodation, such as a vacuum cleaner, a rice cooker, a humidifier, a clothes rack, and an iron, and the list goes on and on. I bought a printer when I was in year 1 and when I was living in Trinity Hall, so that was one of the items that I didn't expect to buy but I ended up buying. I also bought a water filter and a kettle because I realized that I drink too much water and I'm too lazy to keep walking out of my room to go to the kitchen and get water and boil it in the kettle. So we'll just take the once-off cost of moving to Ireland and settling in and buying all your household essentials as €500. Of course, there's the flight ticket. It depends how often you want to go back home. I wanted to go back every December and every June, so that amounts to 2 two-way flights. One one-way flight is usually around 1,000 plus Singapore dollars, and that's around €600 to €700. But now because of COVID, if you have to pay for your hotel quarantine in your home country or in Ireland, then you have to add in 2,000 more dollars or 2,000 more euro depending on where you're quarantining. So during the holidays in December 2020, I traveled around Ireland because I didn't go back to Singapore, and I ended up spending a lot of money then because I had to pay for like the traveling costs and the eating out costs and like just the cost of like going to a different county. So I spent around €1,000 in December. So if you intend to spend your holidays here, then you have to account for inflated holiday expenditure when you're in the holiday mood and you just want to celebrate and have fun. If you want to join a club or society, the joining fee can range from €2 to €5, and it's a once-off cost per year. So if your club or society requires you to buy equipment such as archery or scuba diving, then you have to pay for that and account for it in your expenditure as well. But then if you are intending to just go to the gym, which is free, the TCT gym is free, or use your accommodation gym, then you don't have to add that cost in. I think the main reason why expenditure varies so much between my group of friends is because it's dependent on how much we go out. So I really like going out and I really like eating outside food and like just leaving the house. But my flatmates are really busy and they are forever either at home or in hospitals, so they don't really get much chance to go out, so they spend significantly less money than me. And I also feel like the more friends you have, the higher your expenditure, and the higher the frequency of your hangout sessions with your friends, the more you will spend naturally. Also, if you want to travel Europe, you have to add your traveling cost in. When I was offered the dentistry degree here, the man who offered me said that it would cost approximately 500,000 Singapore dollars to study here. And I'm going to give a breakdown right now to see if that's true. You should be prepared that it may cost you around 500,000 Singapore dollars because that's what was told to us at the start, and you should always be prepared and prepared for the worst. So I hope that my breakdown has been helpful. I think that money is really a huge factor in tertiary education, and if you're an overseas student, it's an extra big factor because international fees are no joke. Of course, there are things that you can apply for to lessen your burden, like student loans and scholarships, and if you're keen on them, definitely do apply for them. But if you're just talking about the cost, the raw costs, here they are. Do consider the cost before you decide whether you want to study here, because it's really sad if you realize halfway that you didn't do your calculations properly and you can't afford it and you have to find ways to solve your problem. Okay, I'm gonna end this video here. Please remember to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.